Hi, my name's Bruce. Welcome to my channel. If you've been enjoying this riveting content and you kind of know what you're about to expect, then please do me a favor and subscribe. Just take a moment and subscribe to the channel. I didn't think I was going to be the guy that asking people to subscribe, because I never in a million years realized that it's my one positive affirmation. I mean, I like it. I like it when people subscribe. So thank you for that. Now, on to the matter at hand. The matter at hand is I'm going to discuss today is a little tiny bit about housing. And I'm going to preface it by saying that I was having a coffee this morning. There was two guys at the coffee shop, and they were explaining to each other that one big negative with electric vehicles was that you had to change the tires about every 15 minutes. That tires had become the new oil change, which now, if you've been following the channel and you know, I have an electric vehicle. And if you've been really following the channel, you'll know that I have 95,000 kilometers on my electric vehicle on the tires that came with it. And goodness gracious, those tires are in tip-top pristine condition. Now, possibly one of the reasons for that is because generally I drive in a straight line. Yes, I do. Anyway, so that's enough about that. Now, what I really want to talk about is housing. And in North America, in the world, in the planet, there's a shortage of housing. And in North America and in Canada and the United States, there's a shortage of, let's just say, affordable housing. There's a shortage of housing that people of reasonable means can afford. Let's define what I mean by reasonable means. Let's say there's two people, they're the leaders of the family, the mother and father, or the father and father, whatever it is. It's all love, it's all good. If they both work full-time jobs, well, one would expect they should be able to afford a house or dwelling. When I say house, I really mean dwelling. I mean, when I say house, you might think single-family detached house with a backyard and a front yard and a street and a car in the driveway. But no, I just mean a place to live, a bedroom for the mother and the father, and a bedroom for the children, maybe another bedroom for the other child, or the two children sharing a bedroom, but a two-bedroom or a three-bedroom dwelling that they can afford on two incomes. Okay. And if you've been following, I made a big speech before about some of the things that are adding to this crisis, and how I've had a little tiny bit of an epiphany. And I used to think that housing was housing, and if you're building a house, it's building a house. Whatever you're building, great. It's another house in the supply, which technically is true, but it overlooks a couple of facts. One is, if you're building a house that costs $10,000 a square foot, you're kind of competing unfairly for resources of people that could be purchasing a house that costs $300 a square foot, or finding an affordable rental accommodation. Let's talk affordable. Maybe for this two-parent family that I've been talking about, affordable would be maybe $2,000 a month in Canada or the United States. And that sounds like a horrendously high number, but that's real. Okay, $2,000 a month. Affordable, two-bedroom. And if anyone's out looking for an apartment today, they may think, you know what? If I could get one for $2,000 a month, that would be great. And they can't find it. Why? Because there's a shortage. Now, let's talk about this in the context of public policy and competition. Okay. I am presently in Canada's major city. Canada's major city has various sporting venues. One sporting venue, it's called the Skydome, or the Rogers Centre, or it's the one with the roof that opens and closes. It's where the Toronto Blue Jays play. And I was here when that was being built, when it was called the Skydome, and I was somewhat a party to a little bit of a change of direction in the construction, because initially there was no hotel included, and then someone came up with the genius idea, well, let's add a hotel in about 1987. And then it kind of was a bit of a do-over. Oops. The oopses really drive the price of things up. But anyway, this venue, which was once owned by the city of Toronto, I think, and was subsequently sold to the Rogers Communication. So if you have your cell phone, your cable TV, your internet provider, maybe Rogers, they are the owners of essentially the stadium and the Blue Jays right now. So they come up with this genius plan. Let's renovate it. Beautiful. Go ahead, renovate away. However, the renovation was 8 months. In those 8 months, they had reported by them 5,000 Toronto, Ontario, Canadian construction workers on renovating this facility. Now, if you wind the clock back a year before the renovation, they had a venue to play their sports. They had a venue where U2 could have concerts, where Taylor Swift could have concerts, where it was a multi-purpose venue. It's lovely. There you go. So before the renovation, it was lovely. After the renovation, it's more lovely. But the thing that I want to focus on is that during the renovation, there were, by their report, I might be off a little tiny bit here, and don't hold me. I made a speech before about that my version of math is called close enough. Okay, and my version of facts is called true enough. Okay, it's like approximately correct. Okay, 5,000 workers for 8 months renovating a sporting venue that already exists. A sporting venue with $20 beers and $10 hot dogs and etc. You follow me here. 5,000 workers for 8 months. Okay. Let's say it was 5,000 workers for 6 months to make the math easier. Okay. 5,000 workers for 6 months is like 2,500 workers for a year. We have a shortage of housing. And some people say it's a shortage of affordable housing, but let's leave the word affordable out of it. It's just straight up shortage of housing. So if you're going to divert 5,000 construction workers from creating dwellings to creating more comfortable seats with better sight lines in your baseball venue, well, in normal times, go ahead. Except that there are people living in parks. There are people living in parks that have jobs. There are people living in parks that have families. There are people living in tents that have families. It's a we call it the housing crisis, because this is a real thing. There's a shortage of housing that has moved from an inconvenience to a moment of crisis. It's a present threat to our, what is it a threat to? Well, it's a threat to our society. It's a threat to the growth of our society. It's a threat to the growth of our economy, because one thing that allows growth and allows happiness is stability. And the first pillar of stability is when you come home from work, you have a bed to go to bed in, and you can get a shower. Okay? That. Now, moving it along. You may know, if you've been following, that I enjoy a little bit of luxury and a little bit of comfort in my life from time to time. And one of the ways that I treat myself and my family to comfort and luxury is I go to a spa. Not every day. Maybe if you count them, I can count the number of times I go to a spa maybe on 2 fingers for a year. Okay? And what I do is I go and I pay my money and I enjoy the spa. It is a luxury good, right? It's a fancy place to get a bath is what it is. It's a spa. Similarly, this matter of public policy and housing, right now there is in the offing, the province, the provincial leader has chosen to essentially give public land at the waterfront, prime location, to Therm Spa, and enter into, this is the ruse of all ruses, enter into a public-private partnership, whereupon at this moment the budget for the entire project is a number. It's $1.5 billion, round numbers. And to get to $1.5 billion, what has happened is Therm is committing to spend $480 million on their spa, which is kind of like a Disneyland for rich people who like to take baths. And the province is committing $1 billion of provincial resources to this project. Now, if you've been following, you'll know that the thing about projects is Do they occur for the amount of resources that's stated like 1 year before the bulldozing begins? No. Do they occur and achieve completion for, within 10% either way, the budget number from the get-go? No. And if you've been following, you'll know that I'm trying to make everyone aware, everyone meaning anyone that's willing to listen to this, that digging a hole is a prohibitively expensive enterprise. I've made a whole video about the prohibitively expensive enterprise of digging a hole, and creating this spa with X thousand underground parking spots is going to be a prohibitively expensive enterprise. And for sure, it's not going to cost $1.5 billion. For sure. I will bet this. I'll bet you this is my left arm. I bet you my left arm that's just completely not going to happen. I think a reasonable cost estimate is probably $5 billion. If you're gonna embark on building the spa as promised, as outlined, a reasonable amount of money to have in your war chest should be $5 billion. Now, Therme, much to their credit, they have decided that they're going to partner with government, with a public entity. Now, and I've mentioned this many times and made efforts to explain it, governments do not spend money in the same way that you do or I do. The same rules do not apply. But the one rule that does apply is that government exists to maximize the well-being and the welfare of every single entity in the economy. Maximize the well-being of everyone. And what this means is you're going to make compromises. There's trade-offs. There's choices. You don't have enough of this resource, but you have more of that resource. So we're gonna do this. Some people, when you meet them when they're walking down the street, what they want to do is they want to get themselves a Ram pickup truck that has an extra large diesel engine and blows smoke everywhere. And some people wish to take an electric transit option. That's just a fact. And both of these people are citizens in our society and are worthy of respect. Their viewpoints are worthy of respect. And it's the government's job to maximize this well-being for everyone. Now, committing to give prime real estate, prime waterfront land to a private enterprise, Therme Spa, and then committing to $1 billion of public resource to this enterprise, and knowing in my heart of hearts, what I know is that there's no possible way that will be completed for that budget. But where is the shortcoming going to come from? The shortfall will invariably, it gets made up by the public entity, and that public entity is you or me. Or if you're living in Nebraska, really, it's still you. If you're living in Slovenia, it is still you. The idea applies, okay? Period. And I said we're talking about housing. So if you're going to take, let's just say round number, you're going to take 4,000 construction workers and you're going to commit them to essentially an open-ended indefinite time of digging holes and building bathtubs when they could be constructing 2-bedroom dwellings, 3-bedroom dwellings that are going to have a modicum of affordability for a two-earner family. That's it. Okay. Now, by the way, my name's Bruce. This is my channel. And if you enjoy this, please subscribe. And I said before that, sometimes the videos aren't quite like this. A lot of times they're worse. Let me know if occasionally they're better. I'm not sure. Maybe I should start making a script. Well, a script, a direction. Hey, let me know in the comments if you think this should be scripted. But anyway, first off, thank you very much. Really, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for everything. This is my This is me. I'm scratching my fingernails on the wall of the cave. Hopefully, you know, maybe someone will read it or listen. Okay, but remember, the role of the government is to maximize the well-being of everyone. And at this moment, we can make a list of the things that are our opportunities, our threats, our weaknesses, and our strengths. We're going to build on our strengths. We're going to create buttresses against the threats. We're going to seize opportunities, and we're going to correct weaknesses. This is what a government should be doing. And I'm pretty sure that having a spa where it's going to cost you $300 or $400 or $500 or $600 to take your family for a bath is maybe not the best use of public resource. There you go. My name's Bruce. Thanks a lot. That's enough of that. Okay, bye.